loosey, righty tighty. Monday, the 22nd of August, and I think I've got bobcat trouble. I'm looking at it by the looks of the back rear left. I've got a slight flat, which I'm going to have to sort out, but it seems to be losing power. And when it loses power like that, it's usually related to diesel. Now it could be that it needs a diesel filter change, which is more than plausible, but I'm thinking that somewhere along the line I'm sucking a little bit of diesel in. But where could it be? A little bit of diesel, a little bit of air in. But where, I don't know. But all these things are sent to try us, I guess. So I'm just going to have a quick look. And because I've not got my tripod here, I'm going to have to put you down. And then come back and tell you what I found. Right, on inspection, what I have found on this bobcat is a lot of mess. What's all that lot down there? So I have got a bit of an oil leak. It's always has had an oil leak, but it is what it is. But I've just took that off of there and cleaned it out, and it wasn't that gommed up. I will admit it wasn't that gommed up, but I need to change the diesel filter over on it, which I'm not going to do right now because I've got to go out in a bit. And I'm hoping that number there, that KC20, is the number. But obviously what I'm thinking is, this is obviously the intake pipe for the diesel, so this comes from the tank here, goes into this filter, in through here, through there, out through this pipe, through there, out through this pipe, down here, into that filter, through the filter and out into the bobcat. Well, I think this probably just wants a new filter on it. Probably hasn't been changed for a couple of years. And we'll be away again. That's my hope. Whether that works or not, I don't know. But I did the oil filter. I could probably do the oil filter as well, couldn't I, really? Do a complete change. Won't hurt it, will it? Probably could do the hydraulic filter as well underneath. Depends how spontaneous I get. Needs a bit of a clean, really. Might get Luke to squirt some of that engine stuff on there, because you got to look after these things. So let's give it a whirl, see what happens. I am expecting it to not start, because obviously every time you fiddle with diesel and whatnot, you could get a bit of air in the system. I don't really want to have to bleed it. Let's see what happens. It could start, fire, and then conk out. That's what I'm expecting. Just give it a whirl and see what happens. So basically, bobcat conked out. I brought it up to pump some air in the tyre, because I mean, everyone pumps air in the Bobcat tyre on outside their mum's front room window. I thought that was just a given. It did feel like a good idea at the time, but obviously it wasn't a very good idea, because now it's can't get outside mum's front room window, and that's not the best place for it to be. So, oh, I knew it would. So I've decided I'm gonna take the diesel filter off, because, well, why not? That is my decision. My decision is absolute. I think that's probably meant to be on there, that thing there. As always, diesel filter is on there tight. I have got one of them diesel filter undoer things, so down the bottom there, which I think I'm gonna have to go and get, because which way's doing up here? Lefty loosey, righty tighty. Look at that, look. That's what happens when you get working on this Bobcat. It's literally just not sucking anything through. Obviously that should suck it. Problem. The trouble is, if I take the diesel filter off, I've not got another one to put on it, so that's a bit pointless anyway. But at the same time, I could be trying to suck diesel through a dodgy filter. I mean, I need to order a new filter, which I'm going to do, but I also need to have the Bobcat running. I bet that filter's blocked. I'm just going to take the filter off. I've decided. I don't care. Decision made. Where's TO Auto Recoveries when you need him? Not here. The answer to that. So I've undone the diesel filter. This is what we're sort of looking at. The state of that. Dear oh dear oh dear. So much dust and stuff, honestly. Your own worst enemy, you know. You should sort of obviously clean it. But that is on there, man. That is seriously on there. That is seriously on there. Trouble is, now if I try and get that off, I've got to try and somehow hold that and get that off at the same time. Luke's not here, he's had to pop out. There we go, look, I've wedged that in there like that. That holds that in there. And that's going to take that off. Right, so basically, took the filter off of there. It's not actually that dirty, to be fair. Like, to be fair, it's not actually that dirty. Could probably still do with a new one, so I'm going to order it. But there was no fuel, like it was only half amount in the filter, so obviously they need to be full. So what I've done, I went back to the lift pump, traced back where I think how the diesel comes in, and it does. The lift pump, it sucks it into the lift pump. From the lift pump, I mean, I don't know how it. Like, I'm not a mechanic, right? I should stress, I'm not a mechanic. I don't actually know what I'm doing, but I'm only self-taught through like growing up watching my dad and cousins and uncles and things. So I'm assuming the lift pump works as like a, if you can get it primed, when you turn the engine on, it sucks diesel into the lift pump. There must be like a suction thing or something which makes it lift. That's why it's called a lift pump. I don't know. Anyway, you mechanics will know. So anyway, I've taken the pipes off from the lift pump to the tank, and I blew into the pipe, and there was a bit of resistance as I blew into it. So maybe that as the pipe goes into the tank where it lifts up, maybe there was a bit of shit around the bottom of the pipe that was just blocking a little bit of diesel getting through. So I then sucked it through, like, you know, I mean, I don't know any other way of doing it. Sucked the diesel through. Obviously a little bit coming out of my mouth. I thought, well, that's clear. Put it back on. Put everything back on. Done the lift pump, and luckily the pipes are actually not see-through, but you can see the diesel if it comes up through, and as I'm lifting it up you can see the diesel's being sucked back through. So I primed it, primed the filter, primed it up through to the bleed, and you don't usually have to crack the injectors off on this. Usually it should just start. So I'm gonna give it a whirl. I'll put this diesel filter back on. I'm gonna give it a whirl, and hopefully it'll be running. But you know, anyone that's watching, this machine, as I've said time and time again, is such a vital bit of equipment to us here. It honestly, I cannot express enough how vital this machine is. And yet I know someone will be watching and saying, well, if it's that vital, why don't you look after it more? Fair point, not gonna lie. But at the same time, are we all guilty? You know, everybody watching, are we all guilty of not looking after our machines enough, or is it just us here at Uckham Lane? And you can see the state of it. It does have quite a bad oil leak. The engine is 50 years old, I'll agree. I don't quite know why it does leak like that, because we did have it rebuilt. Maybe a gasket or something isn't in where it needs to be, I don't really know. But it has, ever since we've had it, it's always leaked bad. But yeah, I'll admit it really isn't that great. And what I would love to do, is I would love to be able to afford like a new machine, I'm not going to say a new machine, but the trouble is we bought the Quatromat new, or nearly new, the splitter new, the processor new. When you buy new, I know it doesn't always necessarily mean like that's the answer, but I can only go on what we've bought, and all three machines, touch wood, are brilliant. When we've bought second hand, alright, they may be great machines, like this one is a great machine, and I think I paid £3,500 for it. Well, you know, for that money, the work it's done is sensational. So, you know, maybe I need to cut myself some slack. But what I'd like to do is buy a much newer machine whilst this one is still working, and just keep this one as backup, because I rely on them so much. I've looked at them little Avent loaders, them green ones. If there's any Avent dealerships even that are watching, or any dealership for that matter, that want to send me a machine for nothing, and I just keep it and review it and big it up for you, then please feel free to do so. The chances of that are probably not high, but it's always good to ask. Like this Bobcat, I can promise you, anybody that wants a Bobcat is phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Right, as I say, I'm not expecting it to start, but as long as I see smoke coming out of the exhaust, I know we're onto a winner. I may have to crack them injectors off up the top. You don't usually on this, but obviously I haven't had the filter off, so, and it did conk out, so obviously air has got into the system. Let's have a look. Granted, we're not going to see much from in here. I've got you on my tripod, so bear with. But I'll have a look and I'll inform back to you if I see smoke. That's all you need to know. There is smoke. There is smoke. There is. Let's give it another whirl. Gonna have to crack the injector off. It's annoying. So I didn't crack the injectors off. I just cracked the bleed nipple off. There was a lot of air in it, so I'm just going to whirl it over again, doing anything I can not to crack the injectors off. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I am aware this hasn't been the most exciting of videos. I am well aware. Even if some of you have made it to the end, that wasn't the most scintillating footage, but it's been nearly 2 weeks since I got the last video out, and obviously I felt that the fans needed to know or needed to see us, so that's the video. The Bobcat is working wonderfully. Any private detectives amongst you will notice I've got a different shirt on. This isn't the same day that I recorded fixing Bobcat. The Bobcat is here and it's working wonderful. It is working brilliant. The reason really why we haven't, or I haven't posted much videos or anything, is because me and Colin are flat out with logs. It's unprecedented how busy we are at the moment, so it's you know, we're obviously spending a lot of time doing that and trying our best to get the footage, but it's tricky. It's tricky. Just bear with. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you've enjoyed the show, and remember, the only way is up. The only way is Acom. See you all soon.